That's our connection. Welcome back to most extreme menage a trois violence you'll ever experience on the extreme three-way dance. JT, Matt, and Jenny taking you through the history of ECW wrestling. We started in February 1994. We are at the ass end of 1999, coming at you simulcast both on video and audio. Audio on any podcast application on the North South Connection, video on the North South Connection YouTube page. You can find us on social media as well. We are really the I can't do it as a joke. Zeitgeist.
God damn it!
I can't even say it as wrong as it was. Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Wow.
How you both doing?
Load on that one.
Better now that you've said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was like the German pronunciation.
Still an extreme.
I think so. Well, isn't Zeitgeist technically German?
That's the joke, Matt. All right, here we are. We got 3 weeks of ECW television. We got 2 hardcore TVs sandwiching an ECW on TNN. We have left November to Remember in our wake on our last episode and marching toward our next pay-per-view in early January, Guilty as Charged. We'll see what year-end frivolities we get. I feel like we usually get a couple of holiday-themed episodes toward the end of the year. We'll see if they continue that trend in 1999. Something tells me we're not going to get the boozy Pulp Fiction music anymore, though. I think that was a thing of the past, sadly. One of my highlights every year. Check out. But we are going to start on the November 20th, 99 episode of Hardcore TV. Joey Styles is in the nest. We're in the ECW arena. Have a big night ahead. We get our opening animation. Joey comes back to us, sets the stage for a big TV title match, which is a continuation of a long rivalry and partnership story, and that is Rob Van Dam defending the TV title against Sabu. Sabu hits the ring to a pop. Fonzie's with him, which surprises Joey. RVD comes out next with his usual long entrance. The crowd is buzzing as Joey sets the lay of the land. Pretty funny spot as Fonzie actually sprinted to the back, and now he comes out with RVD as well. Joey also knows that Fonzie has... You notice that he has 2 separate water bottles, each labeled RVD, and Sabu as well with him, so he can make sure he keeps track. Sharing into the hepatitis that I'm sure was going around that locker room. So very good for him. After a break, we get some more posturing from both guys and Fonzie. We get some crowd. Get the crowd going, some base strikes, some chain work, and feeling out. Sabu keeps trying for the leg as they grapple on the mat. We get some rope breaks and resets, each to a lot of applause. They continue to trade holds and strikes, neither able to take control or get more than a quick 1 count until RVD counters a DDT to Northern Lights for 2. After another series of counters, Sabu drop kicks the knee for 2, and RVD gets up limping. RVD drops under a leapfrog. Sabu lands and drop kicks him to the floor. Sabu follows. They slug away, and Sabu throws him to the railing. RVD catches him up on a charge and crotches him on the rail, hits a leaping sidekick. RVD follows Sabu into the fans with a somersault senton. After a break, RVD takes Sabu to ringside with a corkscrew guillotine. Back in the ring, RVD brings a chair with him. Sabu grabs it, throws it into his head to knock him back to the floor. Sabu heads back out and kicks away, throws RVD to the railing, sets up a table bridge, puts RVD on it, and tries to triple jump, but Fonzie yanks him off, and Sabu stops. RVD argues with Fonzie as Sabu barrels into him with a somersault plancha. Sabu spikes RVD on the table, leaves lying on it, and tries a leg drop off the top, but he misses and crashes through the table. But he kind of misses it. The edge of it, Joey kind of covers for it a little bit, but definitely a bit of a botch. Fonzie checks on RVD, but Sabu comes over, drags him back inside for a near fall. Sabu sets up a chair and tries a triple jump moonsault across RVD's knees for 2. Sabu tries another triple jump, but RVD trips him and smashes him into the chair seat. RVD stomps away, puts the chair on Sabu, and mashes him into a rolling thunder with 2. RVD lands some strikes, sends Sabu into the chair with a monkey flip. He then kicks RVD in the head, drops a leg for a near fall. RVD has a bloody nose now. He's been in tough shape ever since that table bump. Sabu drives RVD into the chair, the leg drop for 2. RVD comes back with a suplex for 2, hits a standing moonsault for a near fall. RVD puts Sabu in the trio whoa and dives into his chair with drives the chair into his face, hooks him in a surfboard. After the break, RVD goes up top. Sabu crotches him, and the crowd is revved up with a loud ECW chant. Sabu follows up, takes him down with a Rana, drop kicks the leg, and drives a chair into RVD for 2. They grapple on the mat a bit and trade some pin attempts. They get into a slugfest, but the bell rings for a time limit, and that gets boos and a loud Sabu chant. Joey randomly notes that our old friend Donnie Allen from the early days of ECW was a timekeeper, apparently. The crowd calls for 5 more minutes. The ref emphatically calls it a draw. RVD grabs the mic, says that wasn't enough to leave as champion. There's something different here because he needs to beat Sabu's ass, and he can do it with 5 more minutes. RVD and Sabu talk shit. They throw fists, and the match restarts. Sabu takes down RVD, hooks the camel clutch. The crowd's going nuts. RVD rolls through, gets a double underhook suplex and a somersault leg drop. RVD throws a chair at Sabu. Sabu grabs one from Fonzie, and they duel. Sabu wins that battle, charges RVD, but RVD catches him, puts him on the top rope. Sabu fights him off, comes off with a Rana onto the chair. It's an Arabian facebuster for 2. Both guys slug away on their knees until RVD kicks the ribs. Sabu counters the Northern Lights with a DDT into the chair, goes up top, and wrecks RVD with an atomic Arabian facebuster for 2. Sabu grabs a cross arm breaker, gets a slingshot leg drop for 2, an Arabian press for 2, and we get another time limit at the end of the 5 minutes. We take a break. We come back. Both guys are recovering. The crowd is booing. Joey takes us to a long highlight package from TNN. When we come back, Sabu wants more, but RVD leaves. He's hobbling outside the ring. The crowd is restless. RVD stops to jaw with the fans. Sabu flies into him with a springboard plancha off the top. The bell sounds. We're back on. After another break, Sabu's cranking on the leg lace, but RVD escapes and kicks Sabu away, hits a 5-star frog splash, but he can't cover. RVD and Fonzie argue, which delays the cover even more, and Sabu stays alive. RVD gets a leg sweep and a leg drop, gets 2 on a split-legged moonsault. Sabu pops up, slugs RVD down, gets an Arabian press for 2. They trade some more pin attempts until a third draw sounds. The crowd is about done with this, as is the ref, who says, that's it. The crowd is restless. Sabu keeps trying to go, but collapses, and they boo RVD. RVD wants a handshake, but Sabu swats it off, and they want to fight again, but we fade out. And that's the entire episode of this Hardcore TV. So it was fun. Definitely more grinding than their usual stuff. I don't know if RVD was really fucked up from that table, but he definitely moved a lot slower than General after that, especially in the back end of the match. It really felt more like a heavyweight slugfest than the usual manic war of these guys. But it made sense because they both kind of evolved. They've mixed things up in their styles. They know each other really well. So it makes sense that maybe a bit more grinding than what it usually is. The crowd was into it until that first draw. That did slow things down, but they bought right back in for the first restart. That first overtime was red hot, and that felt more like their usual stuff, and the crowd was lit. The second stop was a bit much. Like, just at that point, just let it rip. It was very over-orchestrated, and all in all, to me, it was a very good match, but not a classic due to the pacing, the dusty finishes, and the crowd. If they had brought overtime energy the entire match, this could have been an all-timer to me. And the way it went, it also turned the crowd on RVD. So instead of doing the dusty finishes, I just would have said, there's a 30-minute time limit or 40, whatever the hell it was, and just let him wrestle until the draw and then call it a day and let them both get knocked out or whatever. This did not help anyone. Like, the crowd kept getting blue balled. And to me, if you're going to do this, you have to do a finish. You can't do fake draw, real draw. Like, you can do fake draw, finish. And it just made RVD look kind of like an ass, even though he kept saying he'd fight more. But so anyway, Matt, I went 3 3/4 on the match. I think it is below their usual stuff. It's still really, really good. I'm not against the concept of it taking up the whole episode. Like, they've done that a couple times in history. It's been a while. But again, it's syndicated TV and you're throwing out a classic, so who cares? So I'm fine with it. But all in all, definitely left me a little bit lacking due to the booking.
Yeah, so I still went 4 stars on it. And I think for me, it was the fact that it was on weekly TV that, to me, I almost feel like it's the way I'm trying to say it. Like, it's better off because it's on a free episode of TV instead of it being on like a random super show, you know? So I liked it for that. I don't mind that it went the full 30 minutes, but to your point, I think the random stops just kind of hurt it a bit. It's just, it always bugs me when they do this because it kind of gives, like, if it's going 20 minutes, you know that it's probably not going to end in the next 5 and that they're going to do the same thing again. So it just kind of telegraphs that, hey, this is going to like a 30-minute draw or whatever.
Or they could have restarted it and said it's to a finish no matter what, like sudden death, and then do a crazy spot and both guys are down and they try and get up, but Paul comes out and Fonzie's out and they're like, forget it, we can't have you guys getting hurt. Like, they could have done that, and then you put the heat on the officials versus like the wrestlers, and you don't like do this start stop. I think one draw would have been fine.
Yep.
Beyond that, it gets to be too much.
But I mean, it speaks to how good this match is that even with those problems we have with it, like it's still a 4-star match for me. Like we've talked about it ad nauseum. RVD's on another fucking planet right now. And since Sabu has been back and relatively healthy, whatever that means for Sabu, he's been on fire since he's come back from the broken jaw, broken body, whatever else shit he has going on. So he's been fantastic. And I just think this was just the draw to me didn't really hurt how great this match was. So I mean, I still went 4 stars on it, and that fucking flip Arabian facebuster off the top was fucking disgusting. I thought RVD was dead after that. So, but yeah, it's a great match. I still went 4 stars on it, and which is crazy for a match that for we have problems with it, but it just speaks to how great both of these guys are right now. Jenny.
Well, if there's anything I hate more than one time limit draw, it's 3 time limit draws. Like, really? Come on. Come on. Y'all already said there's way better ways to do this. And although the match was hot, they just killed it. They killed any kind of, I don't know, credit that they got with me initially. In the beginning part of the match I thought was really good. I liked them kind of missing each other a lot in the first section of it, and gradually just increasing the violence. And then you can kind of tell it looks like a battle of the wits and the minds as well as their bodies. They're just really sizing each other up, and they know each other, obviously so well. I thought Sabu was awesome in this match. I thought he out wrestled RVD. Um, RVD, maybe he did get hurt, but he seemed to lose a little something, maybe after that second draw. But um, what did we think about the highlights of November to Remember in the middle of the match?
Yeah,
Does that not
that was
suck?
I thought that was super weird. Like just either start the episode with that or close the episode with that. The fact that they just cut away to it like in between those two timelines was just super fucking weird. I don't know what that was about.
I was very confused. I thought, did I miss the finish? And then, like, is this a production error? Like, I don't know. Nothing about that flowed. And although the match was already fucked to me in my mind for the time limit draws, that really just took me out of it. And then it looked like RVD landed on his head during that split like a moonsault. Like, he did not land correctly. That was rough. Another draw. It's the whole episode is this one match, and I felt utterly disappointed. I don't know. Just fucking give Sabu the fucking title. That's all I gotta say. 3 3/4 stars.
All right. Well, awards time. Crazy enough for that episode. Only one match. I guess that's our best match. RVD Sabu, or worse, depending on viewpoints. I guess.
Both.
Yeah, both. Hybrid of both. For the best moment, I went Sabu's Campbell clutch on the restart. I thought that was awesome. Like the crowd was so hot when he like jumped into it, because I do think it bit a minute there, like thinking he's gonna ratchet this in and the rain right here in ECW Arena. So that was cool.
I'm gonna go with that sick table break that looked like RVD died on the floor.
Yes, I think he did briefly.
I gotta go with that Arabian facebuster that killed RVD for a second time.
Yeah.
All right. For most 90s, I mean, really wasn't a lot of options. I just went with RVD versus Sabu. It's a very 90s feud.
Yeah, really is.
Anything RVD wears is very 90s.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I went stock rising, RVD and Sabu. Stock falling, I just gave the booking decision.
You could give Fonzie for rising too for managing.
I thought about it.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, he was good. Final grade, I don't know. I went 7.5. I like the concept. It's a good, like, if you love ECW, you're watching this, you're probably loving this. This is RVD Sabu for 40 minutes. I couldn't go higher because the match wasn't like it was. I mean, look, 3 3/4 is still a really strong grade. So you probably argue we're lowballing it a bit, but I was frustrated by the booking enough to say like, and the style, like whether RVD was banged up or not, it definitely wasn't their usual style of match. So again, very good match, but yeah.
I'm gonna go 7 on it.
Yeah, I went 7.5 on it.
All right. Jenny, would you rank that match ahead of Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed from Rocky
Oh
2?
my God.
Or Rocky Balboa versus Clubber Lang from Rocky 3? Either of those?
It's a gag for the people who watch the podcast.
It's called a
Where's the-
callback here in the business.
I gotta get you a Rocky 4 one, the greatest movie of all
Yes,
time.
please do. I need the other ones.
I can no sell or I can cut a promo.
I want Rocky versus Tommy Gunn, please. Matt,
No, I'm not getting you that one. You're not getting that.
All right, let's move ahead to TNN, November 26, 1999. We opened with Joey and Joel in the ring. We're in Chicago. The crowd is revved up. They set up the night ahead. Joey brings out Jerry Lynn to a pop. They ask him right away, are you in cahoots with Tajiri? And Lynn says, fuck you, Joey.
Fuck you.
Questioning his integrity, says this interview is over, and he leaves, and that's it.
Yes.
All right.
Badass.
Yeah.
I popped so hard for fuck you, Joey. Oh my God. That was so awesome.
Yeah.
He was so mad. Do you think Joey asked him what his favorite Rocky was? You know, it's like
That's why he got so mad.
Yeah.
it was definitely different. It was cool.
Yeah.
We get our opening animation. We come back. Joey and Joel are on the balcony. Rhino, Chris Candido, and Tammy come out. Rhino's jacked to that big 6-man tag, but says Candido promised him a warm-up match, and if he doesn't deliver, Rhino will warm up all over his ass. Candido hides behind Tammy. They stammer, they stooge, and Tammy settles him down by caressing him and says, we just need 10 minutes, and we'll get a bunch of men lined up for you to beat on. And Tammy says, after that, I saw a closet backstage, and then she whispers in Rhino's ear. Rhino says, you got 10 minutes. And then they scamper off. So you guys still digging the Rhino Candido, Tammy using her sexual wiles to tame the beast?
I mean, there's a clear pecking order of who's the best out of this trio, and it's obviously Rhino.
There's also there's also a porking order, apparently.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Candido can kind of fuck off, but
poor Rhino, he's so dumb, right?
yeah.
He's
a Rhino.
Rhino
Rhino
is the head of the game.
Are Rhinos
He
smart
knows
animals?
being used, and he's doing it just to bang Tammy.
Oh.
He knows he'll kick the shit out of them anyway. You know?
Are rhinos smart animals? I don't know.
Is Candido cucked in this situation just openly?
Oh, I think he's watching. Yeah.
Yeah, he likes it.
Yeah. He's like,
I mean,
Cornet.
look, it's not the first time for him in this business. So. At least he's benefiting this time.
Fair point.
Last time he got depushed.
Yeah.
This time it's helping him.
Is it worth? Never mind. Okay. Yeah, no, that was fun. That was fun. I thought Tammy was really good in it.
Yeah. All right, to the ring we go. Rob Van Dam back with us. He's going to defend the TV title against C.W. Anderson. CW's in the ring. RVD and Fonzie come out. We head to New York City to visit with New Jack. He's stomping around on a subway bridge, ranting about he can't find that punk bitch Baldies anywhere. Jack gets on the train, says when he's done with Angel, he'll bend him over and he'll be his bitch and turn into a hoe named LaShawn.
Wow.
Yeah. We go back to Chicago. The crowd is welcoming RVD. That was very specific.
It really was.
It was a little too real.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said that for a reason.
Yeah.
He had something. Back to Chicago. The crowd's welcoming RVD. We take a break. We come back. We get intros and the bell. The crowd is juiced for RVD. CW comes out firing with hard punches, eats a boot on a charge. RVD gets a sunset flip for 2. RVD peppers a sidekick, plays to the crowd, grabs a side headlock and a spin kick to a cartwheel moonsault for 2. Goes to a headlock. Anderson works free, kicks away, gets a hard sidekick for 2, gets a swinging neck breaker, slams RVD, goes to the apron, but gets caught up with the fans. So RVD kicks him in the head, knocks him to the floor with a clothesline off the top rope. RVD drapes CW on the railing, barrels into him with a corkscrew guillotine, throws him back in, follows a slingshot leg drop for 2. Anderson ducks a spin wheel kick, hits a spine buster for 2, but RVD rallies with a leg sweep. Fonzie throws a chair to CW, and RVD nails the Van Daminator, hits a 5-star, and gets the win for a pretty nifty little TV title defense. RVD is always red hot. The crowd was into it. I was perfectly fine with this. This felt like a classic, add another name to the list for Van Dam in his never-ending TV title reign. Jenny, I went 2 3/4.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a pretty good showing for CW Anderson. It was fun.
Yeah.
That leg drop over the railing was fucking gross. Probably the spot of the match for me, but a lot of fire from CW. I thought he sold well and looked good. Very inoffensive, very decent match. Love a 5-star frog splash. So I did 2.5.
Yeah, I went 2.5 on it. Fairly standard RVD title defense that we're used to here, but CW looked really good. Like he hit that spine buster that was really nice out of nowhere. So it seems like they're trying to kind of give him a little bit of shine, which is good because they need more people on this roster. So you got to move him up a little bit. So that's good. So yeah, 2.5 for me.
All right, New Jack is still out in the subway cars looking for the Baldies. Says he'll walk all night till he finds him. Tells a homeless woman to let him know if you see him anywhere. She just kind of laughs as he walks away. A lot going on here.
Yeah.
Do you think they must have filmed this at like 3 a.m, right? Because no one had rented out a subway car, right? So they're definitely doing this like when just no one's out there.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
They found the most desolate.
They can't afford to rent a subway.
Right. So they found the most desolate used subway cars.
Yeah.
We're back in Chicago. Sabu's shown up and he confronts RVD. They argue. Sabu attacks. Joey says the match is official and for the belt. So we're right back at RVD versus Sabu.
I'm sorry, what?
On TNN. Yes. Just
okay.
I don't. It's interesting. They seem to continue to book TNN and Hardcore on like separate tracks where they show what's going on, but it's like week to week on Hardcore and week to week on TNN. It doesn't have a lot of like kind of, oh, this happened on Friday, so that happens on Saturday. You know, it's almost like
they do everything twice.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah. Or this, like the next installment of what happens here will be next week and not on Hardcore. That probably has to do with the taping schedule, I'm guessing, and however they did it. But and just I'm guessing a piece of it is likely that a lot of the TNN audience likely didn't have Hardcore TV carried in the area, so they probably don't want to progress a lot of stories on a show that they couldn't even see. Right. It's not that like, they can't watch it; they just had probably no access to it. So I think that's part of it is that they wanted to, you know, be able to actually have the stories progress in front of an audience that had ability to see it. So, all right. So Rob Van Dam versus Sabu for the TV title. Sabu's all over him. We get a quick near fall into Arabian press. RVD rallies with a springboard sidekick and Rolling Thunder. Gertner says RVD is an idiot for taking this match. Gets a corkscrew leg drop, stomps away, goes up top. Sabu crotches him, hammers away, follows with a Rana for 2 to a pop. Sabu stomps away, throws a chair in his face, gets a triple jump moonsault. Things spill outside while RVD shoves Sabu to the fans, beats him with a somersault senton.
That's my
off the railing. After a break, Sabu's in the ring and comes off the top with a leg drop, puts RVD through a table to the floor on the floor. Sabu rolls back inside. RVD's slow to get up as Gertner says Fonzie will leave manager of champions no matter what tonight. RVD staggers on ringside. We go to another break, come back. Sabu tries to triple jump, but the chair gives out. He collapses with the leg stuck through it. RVD uses the chair to batter Sabu's knee. Rhino and Candido come out. They attack both men to booze. All four brawl until Sabu knocks Candido outside. RVD peppers Rhino with a Van Daminator. RVD meets both guys with a somersault plancha to the floor. Sabu wants to as well, but he collapses as his knee is a mess. Candido and Rhino walk off as Sabu has been swarmed by trainers and referees. RVD clears them out of the ring. He helps up Sabu, kicks his knee out of his knee, batters it. RVD puts a chair on the knee and drills it with a 5-star frog splash and slowly crawls over, wrenches on the knee, and Fonzie tries to throw in the towel. Sabu catches it, throws it back at him. Fonzie waits a beat, throws it again, and the ref calls for the bell. This was the fast-paced hectic chaos missing from last week, or at least Hardcore TV. This is a wild brawl with some good story stuff blended in. I don't think it was as weak of a finish. You know, we do get Candido and Rhino, so it's not clean, but we do get the towel thrown in. It ends with a decisive finish and not just a DQ, which is where I thought they were going. RVD was ruthless in the end. His actions lately are starting to really push the fans away from him a little bit, given how much they love Sabu. So it's an interesting twist they're doing with RVD kind of edging more toward being a heel. I mean, he's always kind of been the same character, but this feels like they're having him do things that are more heelish. I thought this was really good being on TNN. I actually had it lower rated than last week because it was tighter and less time, but I found it more entertaining in its own way overall. So I went 3.5 stars, Matt. Again, just a little notch below last week, and I think this is just to get as much time to tell a story.
God damn it, I made the same note that he kicked his leg out from his leg. Same fucking brain. God damn it. I went 3 stars on this just because it was so short. And I mean, I get why they did the finish. They're kind of trying to protect Sabu, it seems like, by not having him get pinned. So to me, with this, it kind of seemed, and the draw in the last episode, it kind of seems like maybe they're going to have like a third match where there's no time limit and there must be like a pinfall or submission type of deal. No throwing in the towel, no nothing like that. That to me is what it seems like where they're going. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a few notches below the hardcore TV match just because it was so short. I mean, that last match was 30 minutes and this was like barely 10. So it is still good. Like it's a worthy match. It's 3 stars, but yeah,
It
for me,
feels
it's
like a pay-per-view thing. That's what they're building toward. Like,
yeah.
kind of TV draw, TV fuck finish.
Yeah.
Now, like, all right, we're gonna let it rip on pay-per-view.
Right.
And,
That's
like, this
kind
will
of
be the-
what I
the
feel like.
stellar
But
match.
yeah, I mean, it's a 3-star match for me, Jenny.
I have a question. When Sabu gets his leg stuck in the chair, is that a
Mm-hmm.
shoot?
With him, probably.
That's all.
Yeah.
I watched a couple times and I'm like, because with Sabu, I try to kind of, I don't know, try to figure it out. But like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I think he is great at the fake botch. Like, I
Right.
think there are things he does on purpose to look like a botch that
Right.
he intends to do. So this could have been one of them.
I did wonder about this too because of how the finish went and how
Yes.
the finish involved the leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought that leg spot was really pretty genius because I think Sabu is he's getting more over than RVD at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And
Totally.
is that how they're going to take the title off of him? By having RVD more heelish and having to turn on.
Right. Lynn seemed like the guy for sure, but now Sabu seems like,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this whole story has been RVD taunting him and taunting him and taunting him, and
Right.
Sabu finally snapping. He's over. Like, yeah, if there's ever a time, the only thing you could argue is like with Lynn or someone else, like say Tajiri or whoever, like you're kind of making them by beating RVD and ending this reign, whereas Sabu doesn't really need it.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, Sabu does have the gravitas and star power to be earning that win. It's just kind of the Brock ending the streak argument in its own way, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of others to be on that level with RVD. Like
no, I think Lynn right now is probably the only other one, and or maybe like a Storm if they wanted to split him off and go singles.
Right.
I mean, there's worse ideas than Rhino, like destroying RVD, like you know, and winning it too. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I kind of like that.
Yeah, there's a few options. They're all different paths, though. There's like the veteran who's like the name player that you do it. You gotta have someone that's worth it. There's the guy who can match RVD in the ring and Lynn, or then there's like the monster that could just like destroy him.
I could have done without the Candido run in. I like Rhino running in, but otherwise, this was a pretty brutal match, and at least it didn't have any fucking draws. So that's a plus. I love Ponzi trying to throw in the towel and Sabu catching it.
Yeah. That was
I go, was that real? Did he really mean to do that? Like,
definitely.
That was
I
great.
think that would definitely.
That was great. I loved it. I ended up going 3 1/4 on it.
Yeah, I mean, it was Candido running in is almost like someone running up the stairs. All right. Let's stay in the ring because we're back with a reigniting of one of our favorite mid-card feuds. Is Super Crazy is here to take on Little Guido. And if Little Guido is coming out, that means it is time for our Italian Lesson of the Week. It's all Rocky too now.
If you say Rocky anything, I'm putting.
No, we're actually going to stay in the ring, but not boxing this week. We're going to talk wrestling for the legendary worker, a man known throughout the world as an iconic superstar of the golden days of professional wrestling and into the new generation as well. This guy captivated audiences, was seen on many a TV program, facing all the top wrestlers of the day, and that is Mario Mancini. Matt, you know Mario Mancini?
I've heard the name. I thought you were going to say Sal Balomo.
Jenny, you know Mario Mancini?
No, I don't.
I think Mancini is probably the modern day Sal Balomo, but birth name Leonard Inziatarli, born June 21st, 1966 in Stamford, Connecticut. Retired American professional wrestler, worked mainly for the WWF as a babyface jobber from 1984 to 1991. He was The Undertaker's first ever televised opponent on Superstars, taped November 19th, but aired December 15th, 1990. 90. His father had actually gone to school with former wrestler Tony Altamare and was eventually convinced him to train, spent his entire senior year of high school training. And on July 31st, 84, Mancini and fellow students Dave Barbie, AJ Petrucci, and Robbie Parliament accompanied Altamare to a taping in Poughkeepsie. And we gave it a chance for a tryout. And then he ended up becoming enhancement talent basically from that point, as was Petrucci and Barbie. So I guess, I don't know. I guess these Altamare is just known for training jobbers, perhaps feeding them to the WWF. At the time of his tryout match that night in Poughkeepsie against Greg the Hammer, Mancini actually thought it was still a real sport. So they had to smarten him up right before the match.
God.
That was a work.
Wait, what?
He debuted that night against Greg Valentine for Championship Wrestling, only 6 weeks after he had turned 18. So he was the youngest wrestler in the company at that time. His second match actually took place, little did I know, little 3.5-year-old JT in West Warwick, Rhode Island, my hometown, against Dr. D. David Schultz on August 13th. Mancini broke his nose in 2 places. And as a young wrestler, he avoided the hazing that others had because he was injured at the time. So from there, fought everyone all over TV, left and right. He's part of some memorable angles and stuff. 1987, he faced Butch Reed on Challenge. Before the match, Andre the Giant came out. That was just weeks before his heel turn. He shook hands with Mancini. So it's like little weird things like that, like where he would pop up in these angles and moments. Yeah, that's it. He worked a little bit around the Northeast, but really mainly WWF. His match on, like I said, November 1990, November 19th. He was a veteran hand. The first ever match against The Undertaker that night, of course, was when he was dubbed Kane the Undertaker. It's a pretty infamous moment as well. He fought Skinner on July 29th, 91. That was Skinner's debut. August 24th, 91, faced Ted DiBiase for a 5th time. And then he was Big Bully Busick's opponent for his debut on August 25th. Him and Paul Perez lost to the Nasty Boys on December 7th, my 11th birthday. Me and Mancini got a lot to share together.
Sounds like you should meet him.
In April 92, decided to leave the promotion. He wasn't even 26 yet. He actually came back into wrestling a little bit for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling in 2015, and he still competed a little bit and then had a career-ending match in the end of 21. He actually was ranked 419 in the PWA 500 in 1991 and 431 in 1992. He's in the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, inducted in 2014. He was also married 3 times, by the way. 1 year, 6 years, and then 12 years. His last one, divorced in 2018. So listen, I only brought it up because I knew of him. Like, he was on TV all the time. They clearly trusted him quite a bit because if you read this, I don't think many jobbers have a wiki page that he has. He fought a lot of stars. He was the debut for a lot of guys. So that means they trusted him to help get these guys over. And I feel like there's so many dudes, just like random dudes over time forgotten like him that are out there. That was a good career. He was around 8 years as a fucking jobber. Probably made okay money. I don't know what he did after that. Probably lost a lot of that money in the divorces.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I know it's just a cool random little story for anyone that watched WWF TV in the late 80s and early 90s would definitely know Mario Mancini. Had the little mustache, kind of fat. It was a perfect jobber.
I liked Mario's brother Luigi Mancini better.
Yeah, he was all right. He was kind of a jerk. Yeah. I did go to school with Nick Mancini. He was okay.
Was he also a plumber?
He may be now.
Before we get done with the ECW, perhaps we dive into Mancini's career.
Yeah, we could do a very Mancini podcast.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, I'll come up with a good name. Everyone loves a good underdog story.
You can't Mancini.
You can't Mancini me?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we have to do it now with a name like that.
Yeah, I think we know a connect that probably has all Mancini's entire career up there somewhere. Look, who doesn't love an Italian underdog coming up fighting the man?
I have an update on our previous, whenever it was that we talked about the mayor.
Buddy Sancy.
Oh, Buddy Sancy. Yeah.
The Crime Town.
I listened to Crime Town.
All right, report back. Let's hear it.
The fucking trip.
Oh yeah, that story goes places.
I was like, I'm sorry, what? Every single episode was something outrageous, and I'm like, wow, he really got away with all that, huh?
He sure did.
The best part is if you ask anyone of a certain age and probably They will tell you who's like the best mayor that ever
Right.
existed. in
Oh,
that city.
it seemed like he was beloved, but
He did a lot of good stuff. Like
Yeah,
he really did help the city quite a bit. He also did a lot of not so
Yeah.
great stuff along with it.
Mhm.
But, you know, in today's political climate, I'd say he's actually pretty tame compared
Yeah.
to some of the shit going
Yeah.
on nowadays.
I mean that's not untrue.
Did you finish the season?
I think I got like a few more episodes left.
All right, so I think the next episode of the Italian lesson of the week should be you teaching us what you learned about Buddy Sansi. So
Well, you already
Let's
told
make
us
note.
everything about Buddy Sands.
no, you got to tell us what you learned from listening to
All
the show. So
right.
get some notes.
Oh, I'm teaching. I'll be the teacher.
You're the teacher. You're going to teach us. You're going to teach us. And if not, we're doing Rocky 5. So those are your two options.
I don't want to do Rocky 5.
See, Maddie. Maddie knows.
If you said 4, I'd be in.
All right, super crazy little Guido. Guido rides out on Sal. Joey's always in the middle of this confusing Lynn to Jerry situation he talks about. Joel gets racist as usual, but super crazy. We go back to New York City. New Jack's still in the search, cutting promos on the Baldies. He's on the 6 train. He says they'll be sitting there until they show up and get their asses whooped. Back to Chicago, we start with some chain work from both. Joel says he used his index finger to find his Juju Gatami the other day. Ridiculous.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I know what he said. It was very funny, but
The Juju Gatami. We continue with the grappling encounters until Guido drop kicks Crazy in the knees, tries a springboard moonsault. Guido stomps away, goes to grind on the mat. Crazy goes back to the apron, teases an acai on Sal. Guido shoves him down. Guido tries a plancha. Crazy moves. Sal catches him, but Crazy flies into both of them with an acai to a pop. Joel says Sal's blood type is Ragu as Crazy pounds Guido on the apron. Guido fights Sal off. Fights Crazy off. Gets a leg drop off the top for 2. Guido counters a go behind with a nice side Russian leg sweep off the middle row for 2. Guido stomps away, slings Crazy to the corner, chops away. Crazy tries to come off the top. Guido power bombs him down for a close near fall. Drops an elbow, but Crazy comes back with a swinging DDT. Goes up top with a somersault plancha. For 2, Crazy hammers away in the corner, chokes at him. The ref gets between them. Crazy dodges a Sal avalanche, and the ref gets wiped out. Crazy snaps Sal to the floor with a Rana. Tajiri comes in. Crazy ducks a Tajiri kick, grabs a waistlock, and Lynn comes in hot. Lynn charges with a clothesline. Tajiri ducks, and he takes out Super Crazy by accident. Guido drop kicks Lynn as Tajiri buries Crazy with a brainbuster, and Guido covers to pick up the upset win. Fun match as expected. Great crisp offense, a fast-paced energy. We have the usual Sal bumps in there, a good crowd. And the ending was well executed too. Continuing the new Lynn story is again, he helped Tajiri, inadvertent or not, we don't know. Guido steals a big win on national TV, and the mid card keeps humming. Jenny, I went 3 stars on this.
I did 3 stars as well. Guido is so fun. They're both so gutsy, and this Guido's been on a little bit of a run. We've enjoyed him like for a while here, and he is just kind of doing his thing. Like he always just does his thing. He's always great, and he makes the other guy looks great. But this time he got to win, so he's slowly racking up the wins, which I enjoy. Sal got that avalanche in the corner, and the ref was like, like that was not the best sell, but it was pretty funny. And then Sal took the Rana. He was like,
Sal can bump.
Sal's bumping. I burst out laughing. I was like, he just like flipped into that Rana like he was nothing, and he's 400 pounds. That was insane. I don't know what to think about this Tajiri and Jerry Lynn partnership. But I
don't think it's even a partnership. I think it's like kind of. I don't know.
They really said. I mean, he got really mad at Joey for saying that they were in cahoots. So, but they're clearly in cahoots.
Yeah.
But I kind of like Jerry Lynn kind of fucking things up a little bit. Kind of fun. I did 3 on it, Maddie.
Yeah, I went 3 on it too. It's a different thing for Jerry Lynn, so I like it. It's better than him losing to RVD every fucking week like he had been for a while, so I'll take it over that. And I mean, we've waxed poetic about Guido for a long time on this show. He's been great starts, and he had that great match with RVD on the last episode we talked about, and he's just fucking killing it. And crazy is crazy. The referee is dead, so that's from that fucking squash in the corner. Good lord. And then wasn't so much of a flip that Sal did as it was more of a roll, but it was still.
Yeah, I mean, I gave him some grace.
Yeah, no, it was still great.
He did it.
No, he totally did. It was just.
I loved it.
Wild to see this 600-pound man sell for 150 pounds. Super crazy. But yeah, it's another fun match for Crazy. Who knew? He's very good. 3 stars.
Yeah.
All right. We have our main event. We stay around in the ring. It is a 6-man tag. Rhino teams with Justin Credible and Lance Storm take on Tommy Dreamer, Raven, and Sandman. After the break, Rhino's in the ring, followed by Credible, Jason, then Storm and Dawn. Big November to Remember rematch. New Jack's still on the 6 train. He's been running his mouth as a random subway worker comes over and tells Jack that the Baldies are on the opposite train, but Jack goes over there and the train is gone before he can get on. So no Jack Baldies action tonight. Dreamer sucks out with Francine. Joey recaps the story with Raven, who has had Tommy's back lately, but Sandman has still laid him out with the cane. Dreamer gets attacked by the Impact players, takes on all 3 until Raven finally comes out to help. Storm hits Raven with a super kick, but he ducks a chair shot, and Rhino eats the steel. Raven dropped to hold Storm into the chair, hammers away in the corner. Tommy batters Rhino in stereo. Rhino runs through Raven, and then Credible works him over outside as Storm and Rhino double up on Tommy. The crowd chants for Sandman as the champs get beaten down. Credible puts Raven through a table on the floor. Rhino puts Tommy down with a spine buster as Enter Sandman fires up. Sandman finally comes out standing in the balcony. He glares down to the ring. Joel says he's a drunken, abusive, violent man, and that's the same as Raven's dad, and that's who Raven sees when he's around. Sandman chugs a beer and stalks to the ring with his cane. Sandman canes Rhino. Storm catches him with a super kick, and the Impact players double team. Jason comes in, but Tommy decks him. Rhino nails Tommy, but Francine's in and jumps on his back. Tommy pulls Francine to safety, and he gores Rhino as the Impact players batter Sandman on the floor. Tommy plants Rhino with a pile driver, lines up a DDT, but Storm catches him with a flying clothesline. Storm poses. Francine hits him in the nuts. Dawn comes in, goes low on Tommy, and that triggers a cat fight to a pop. That was Maynard Keithy there. Sandman pulls Dawn off the Francine and holds her, and then ducks a Credible cane shot, takes it down with a Russian leg sweep. Storm attacks Sandman. Tommy comes over, hits a Spicoli driver. Raven lines up a DDT on Storm, but Sandman canes Raven, and Credible covers for the win. Again, chaotic match here. All the top big dogs going full throttle. Pretty seamlessly mixed into the top story of the issue with Sandman and Raven. It gets a little clunky, but I thought it was smoother than most matches like this. It was a pretty good brawl. It had a real conclusion, which is good, but also has more future questions to be answered here, of course, with Sandman and Raven. So Sandman getting his revenge. We'll see how it goes. So Matt with 2 3/4, kind of a classic ECW 6-man main event fuckfest for TV.
Yeah, I went 2.5 on it. It was perfectly fine. Very similar to the November to Remember match. This felt like it was on the fucking express lane, though, because holy shit. It's like, all right, we're doing the opening move stuff, and then there's a cat fight, and then you blink, and some other fucking thing happens. It's like, holy shit. Like, just whiplash throughout. Really, this entire episode was like that, but this match especially was just a lot happening in a short amount of time. And it was good for what it was, but holy Lord, it was exhausting to watch. So, I mean, I went 2.5 on it. Like, obviously, all 6 of these guys are capable of more, but they just didn't have. It's kind of similar again to the pay-per-view. They just didn't have enough time to do the full thing that we all know that these 6 guys are capable of. So, 2.5 for me, Jenny.
Yeah, I mean, this feels so disappointing, really. Like, I mean, the cat fight was hot, but like, there's no real flow. It's like chaos, and I feel like we've moved past this, but I feel like we're just doing shortened versions of shit we've already done for TNN, and I'm not really into that. I mean, I guess you got to do it, but it's not fun for me as I am watching all of this. So perhaps I'm overall tired of the Impact players.
I mean, they've been pretty dominant for like a year now. So
yeah,
it's not crazy to say.
Sandman and Raven, I think, is way more interesting than anything else that's going on here. I like the idea of Raven hating Sandman because he reminds him of his dad. I think that's smart. And I like Sandman just saying fuck you all and Kane and Raven and leaving. So I did 2.5. I don't know. I need something new.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say too, like they're probably trying to jam a little too much in on TNN sometimes.
Yep. Big time.
I think that like they know they only got effectively 35, 40 minutes, right? In front of the national audience. So they're trying to expose as much as they can. But it does lead to a lot of breakneck stuff. Now, it was a style of the time. Like Russo on WCW right now is heard on the Backbone Podcast Network on Are You Smarter Than Russo's WCW? Like, they're jamming 100 things into 3 hours. Raw is coming out of the Russo era, but they're still throwing a lot at you in those hours. So it was the style, was to go like boom, 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 boom. But it does feel like there's a couple things here. Like we probably didn't need to go to New Jack as many times as we did.
Yep.
We probably didn't need like Candido Rhino a couple times before this. If you can do RVD Sabu, you probably don't need 4 of the matches on a show with that either. Like, so I think I would have not done RVD and Anderson and given RVD Sabu and this main event a little bit more time to breathe.
Yep.
And then you're pretty much fixed. Or you could have dropped Guido and Crazy, which was a good match, but you could have just done something with Crazy and Lynn in that opening promo. As good as the fuck you thing was, like, you could have had Crazy come out to confront Lynn. Guido comes out, they brawl to Jerry. You could have done the same thing without a match. Just little ways to trim and maybe give some breathing room, because I'm with you guys. Like the main event just felt rushed by the end. So, and then we're not done. So New Jack's on the subway.
I like the New Jack stuff in here. I thought it was a highlight. So
I think there's other ways you could have trimmed and kept that. He's still going. He's on the subway. He's calls out the Baldies. He exits the train. DeVito's behind him, and he says, "Let's go 1-on-1." And of course, New Jack stalks at him, but Angel comes from behind and lays him out. They laugh at New Jack, and DeVito says, "Rudy Giuliani is looking for them now." But here we are standing over a dead gangster on the subway, and these subways belong to the Baldies. So I know it's a good ending to the through line. I'm with you. Like, I'm fine keeping all this and trimming elsewhere. I think we had to cut one of those other 2 matches to make the time.
Yeah. You said RVD and CW Anderson. As we'll talk about, the next episode could have used it, so throw that on there.
Right? Yeah. Could have done that too. Yeah.
That was one hell of a guitar shot too, because we saw it from behind as Angel did it, and it crushed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome.
Now he thinks his name is LaShawn.
LaShawn Jack. All right, best match. I went RVD Sabu.
Yes.
Yep.
Worst, I went RVD Anderson, even though it was still pretty good.
I'm gonna go the main event.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go the main event too.
Best moment, I went the Sabu chair collapsing. Like that is, it was like different. It looked crazy.
Yeah,
and it really led to the knee injury that kind of sold the rest of the match. So thinking about it, I think it was intentional, Jay. Like because it plays such a role in the match and where it goes. So I had to be intentional.
I like that, but Jerry Lynn saying "fuck you." Nothing be said.
He should have been if he's a veal parmesan. Fuck you.
Yeah. I have to go with Sal selling the Rana.
Yeah, that was good. All right, most 90s, I went Tammy having sex with wrestlers in closets.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Rising. Speaking of Rhino, RVD, Sabu, the Baldies, Raven.
Yeah.
And following, I actually went Sandman. I like. He takes forever to come down and help us. Like Tommy's supposed to be his buddy. Like he takes forever to come down and help him.
Whatever, man.
Raven's doing the right thing. He's
finishing his beer. What do you want?
I don't know. I liked Raven in this his comeback more than Sandman actually right now. We'll see where it goes, but I don't know. Sandman seems aloof to me.
Aloof.
That's what I like about him.
Yeah. Final grade, though, I did like this episode, even with the qualms we had. I just think it could have been like a great episode. As it is, I think it's borderline. I went 8.5. Like we still had a lot of really good in-ring matches. We had the Baldies, New Jack stuff all throughout the night. There was no slow spots at all. We had storyline progression. Like for like a 40-minute national TV episode, like this is actually quite good. We're nitpicking because that's what we do on the show, but it's like I don't know. I thought there was a lot of good to it.
Yeah, I
Especially
went.
to compare it to our next one that we're about to
Well,
review.
yeah,
Oh, yes.
but
Yeah.
I went 7.5. They just tried to fit way too much in this fucking episode, and it drove me crazy. I was getting anxiety watching this episode. So, but it is still good, but it just way too much happened. 7.5.
Yeah, it's just the repetitiveness and stuff. I'm at 7.5 as well.
All right, one more to go. Back to hardcore TV. 11/27/99. Rhino's backstage issues a threat to anyone that gets in his way. This next moment really set the tone for this odd episode. And I checked with our buddy Rocco Martone. I don't think this is something that we get much, but it is peppered in elsewhere. I've noticed as I've watched ahead. We get this extended opening animation, and the ECW theme has like these weird lyrics.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Paul doing them or who, but it reminded me of season 9 Roseanne, where they sing something over the harmonica.
Oh yeah.
But he's like,
Wow.
you can't really hear Paul saying. He's like, chairs and tables and games and shit. And but it's like, it's such a weird fucking thing out of nowhere. It's like, this many years into like Paul is singing lyrics to the ECW theme. Like, it was really weird. I don't know if
you could hear Paul summoning Satan as he was recording.
It was odd. It was really odd. If you never go watch this if you've never heard it, because it's really fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
It does come back again. Like it's not every week. It's just here and there, which is odd. I'd never heard this before. I'd never heard it before. It was really fucking weird. All right, actually, I found the lyric. Let's fucking play it. Hang on.
Oh boy.
If I get taken out, there's no way this is fucking copywritten. So
only one way to find out. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
So don't copy me. Let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here. Let's get to the lyrics.
You gonna sing it?
I don't know. Here we go.
I don't know. That kind of slaps, you guys.
Yeah. No, I love the song.
It's like a witch's chant.
Yeah. Reminds me of like the Mortal Kombat song.
Kano, Scorpion.
It's on Agatha all along.
Right? It feels like it.
Yeah. Eye of Newt, head of Rebel.
Tammy, suck your dick in the
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
It'd be funny if it was like it would be better if it was like their version of like We Didn't Start the Fire, and it's like him narrating the history of ECW throughout it. Funk was here, and then he's gone, and then he's back,
Smith,
and then he's gone, and then he's back, and then he's gone
off the scaffold,
and he made me back again.
We should make that song for our final episode.
Sabu,
yeah, just recap jaw.
Yeah.
What a weird fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Jay Sully.
Nick Colbass was here for a second.
Oh, it was like it caught me completely off guard. I'm like, wait a minute, am I hearing this correctly? Boots and cats. All right. Anyway, it definitely reminded me of the fucking Roseanne. You know what I'm talking about, right? The Roseanne.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
There we go. Now we gotta hear that too.
Oh shit.
What doesn't kill us
like I'd watched Roseanne as a kid, but I don't think I'd watched like all the way through to the end. And when I was working in TV after college, like by all these fucked up hours, so I'd get home and my sleep schedule was so screwed up. And so I'd lay and watch whatever was on like Nick at Night, like 3 a.m. or whatever. And I remember the season started because I was watching Roseanne every night, like 3 a.m, going to bed. And they had this, and I'm like, I thought I was like having like a fucking fever dream. I'm like, am I awake? Like, when was the Roseanne fucking theme with lyrics? Like, I had no clue.
Isn't it John Poplar that's doing it?
Yeah. It is.
Oh
yes.
God.
Do you think?
I think it makes sense. I mean, I don't know.
Do you think Popper did that ECW theme too?
That would be awesome.
Yeah. was
I
during,
think Paul could play the harmonica.
it was John Popper's satanic phase. Blues Traveler got real fucking weird at the end.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It definitely caught me off guard, but I was laughing. I was like, tables and chairs and Gertner too.
You're definitely going to write a song. I can already
Yeah,
tell.
probably. Probably more to do with deals than that.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, we go to the ring. Is Danny Doring and Roadkill, the Conda in the house. And
Fuck yeah.
this episode was like, if you would have told me I was like, had taken melatonin and dreamt this episode, I would have believed you, because then like a team I had no clue was in ECW. I only knew them from TNA. The Dups are here. I had no idea they started in ECW. I thought they were a TNA or like a indie gimmick that TNA brought in. I knew them from the early days of TNA. I knew them from like the internet shit, like in the early 2000s, like hearing about them. But they are here. Bo Dup is with us, and who was it? It was Bo Dup,
Jacked Up,
and Pucked Up at ringside.
Yeah.
So we didn't have Stand Up yet, who would show up at TNA.
Where's Fucked Up?
Yeah.
Pucked Up's at ringside.
Oh, okay.
Bo and what was the other one you said was here? Bo and
Jack.
Yeah. Anyway, Doring and Roadkill are out. Joey hypes them up. We go to TNN for the first visit of New Jack to the subway. So we see that throughout the night. And then the Dups are here. Bo plants Roadkill to shoulder block. Roadkill comes back with a scoop power slam. Roadkill throws Bo to the corner. Doring shoots Roadkill into him with an avalanche. Plants Bo with a bareback. Bo bails out. Jack comes in. Doring and Roadkill double team him. Roadkill plants him with a sidewalk slam. Jack bails as the Dups regroup. Roadkill teases a plancha. The crowd revs up, but hops back in the ring. We reset. Pucked Up at ringside, trips up Doring, and Jack knocks him to the floor, works him over with strikes. The Dups quick tag and double team on Doring. Bo gets 2 on a slam. Chokes away, tags Jack, who gets a double shoulder tackle. Jack peppers away at Doring. Jack drops his head. Doring catches him with a rocker dropper, tags in Roadkill. Jack gets a pop. He cleans house. Most for both guys. Gets a springboard flying clothesline. Puck comes in. He eats a heart attack, and he leaves. Doring plants Jack with a double arm DDT. Roadkill slams Bo, and then Doring hits a top rope leg drop, and Roadkill finishes with the splash. It was a fine tag match. I mean, the Dups didn't have much going on here. Roadkill and the Conda built themselves into a nice little low card tag team, though. So I went 2 stars. And I will say at first, when I saw one of the Dups in the ring, I thought it was that fucking guy from New Orleans again. Remember, what was his name? Yeah,
I forgot.
The Joe Dirt guy. Remember they had like for that one night, that was like a manager. I thought they brought him back in as like a jobber for the show. I don't think he was one of the Dups. Maybe he became one of them. But anyway. Did you think this match was Pucked Up, Matt, or did you think it was pretty good?
He was actually a build me up buttered up on the ringside. But I went 1.5 on this. This was, boy, I wasn't expecting to see the fucking Dups in ECW. Holy shit. Jack Dup looks like Rico on human growth hormone, whatever that's worth. But yeah, this was just a whole lot of nothing here. Perfectly fine enhancement stuff for Doring and Roadkill, but yeah, other than that, this wasn't much, Jenny. 1.5.
I beg to disagree.
Oh.
I'm just saying. The Dups, they look good. They're like a fully formed team. They got the look going on. They seem legit. They don't seem like you know, I don't know. They got some juice. And I've become a Roadkill fan. Okay?
Yeah, Roadkill and Conda.
Mm-hmm.
He's come a long way from just saying chickens in the promos.
Well, it's all still what he says, but it's.
I mean, that's fine, but he's like bringing it. I thought he had a lot of snap to him tonight. Like he was in it. He looked good. And I like the finish. And I mean, it's fairly standard tag stuff, but I thought it was well worked. And I like the new team. Some fresh blood. It's always good. So I did 2.25 on it.
What if Candido wishes that Prenup was out there with them?
Prenupped up?
All right. Back to TNN we go. We get the next New Jack vignette. Joey is in the nest, runs down. What's still to come on the show says the Baldies made the 9:15 out of LaGuardia after that subway incident. So they're here. It was not at 3 a.m. So they were able to get the 9:15 flight. Back to where we go. Chris Candido, speaking of, is here to take on Simon Diamond. Diamond and Dick are in the ring. Simon grabs the mic, rants about the comments about them having an alternative lifestyle. Dick says it's preposterous. And Simon says, that's right. I think with my dick. Dick poses. Simon says, big hands, big feet, big dick. Joey says his name is Richard Hertz. And so Simon thinks it's funny to keep calling him Dick, so they get in trouble. And he's ranting about this the whole time. Speaking of Big Dick, out come Tammy and Candido. Joey reminds us, as usual, the Padres drafted Diamond as a catcher. The Diamond stuff is like starting to get like Gorilla and Jesse with like Dino Bravo on the weightlifting record, like those things that you hear for like years after. We hear about the Padres catcher and working for Pepsi like every fucking time they're on. We're going to show your tits chant for Tammy. The match fires up with some feeling out, some early grappling. Simon works a headlock, puts down Candido with a shoulder block. Candido comes back with a hip toss and some chops. Simon gets back in control, hits a pair of suplexes into a Falcon Arrow for 2, kicks away. Candido rolls outside, but Dick lays in some hard strikes. Tammy ties up the ref, which allows Simon and Dick to double team Candido. Dick launches Candido across the railing with a stiff hot shot and then poses. Back inside, Tammy crotches Simon on top. Candido pops up, gets a top rope superplex, hits a diving headbutt, and wins. I thought Simon looked decent. Dick improved, and Candido lasts both of them for the fairly quick win. It's the first time Candido's got one over on Dick for sure with Tammy involved, and that is a 1.5 for me, Jenny.
Okay. I don't know. Come on, man. I enjoy Simon and his Dick. I think it's very funny. I like when Dick talks, you know, when he said preposterous, that was very funny. And Candido will really just do anything at this point, right? Like, he's that guy where, like, you're our bitch. We're going to do whatever we want when you're going to do it.
Yeah.
There's a real vibe here. Because otherwise, why is he working with Simon Diamond?
Yeah, I think he probably needs the money a little bit. He wants a job.
Yeah.
Right.
I really think what they're trying to do, the two of them, is prove that they're both clean and trying to get like a run in one of the big companies during this hot time in wrestling. Like, I think they're trying to show, you know, especially with Russo and WCW, like, you know, obviously into the women and stuff. So I really think they're just trying to show, like, that's why I think that is why they agreed to do that expose bullshit, is to show like Tammy is clean. You know, she can be on top of wrestling again. Candido can work. Like, we're a good package. We can come and deliver. So I think that's all this is. And like Paul's just saying, okay, I'll help you get noticed in exchange. Like, you're going to work whatever I need you to work. Right.
Right. Exactly. I mean, all that seems pretty clear. And I think they're delivering. I think Tammy looks good. I think she's looked good the past couple weeks and doing the Rhino stuff. She definitely seems more into it. Right. And more like kind of dialing back into what she can do and what she does really well. And then Candido always just feeds off that and works his ass off. So I did 2 stars.
Yeah, I mean, I went 1.5 on it, and that's the one thing you can never say about Candido is he doesn't fucking work his ass off, because he does that.
Always,
he does that in every match, whether it's against Simon Diamond or fucking Taz. Like, so I'll give him that. But I mean, again, this match was just kind of not much here. It's a weird fucking match. Like, if we were gonna do a heel match, I wasn't expecting it to be fucking Candido and Simon Diamond of all things. Just
they've almost oddly made Candido face a little bit, and
it kind of feels that way. Yeah,
Impact players. So
yeah. It
Yeah,
kind of feels like they're not sure what to do with, along with, you know.
Well, I don't think they're committing to him, because I think they do believe at any time he could go. So I really think it's probably a week to week with him. So they're just like, all right, this week we'll use you for this week we'll use you for that. And they know, like, you know, at some point they're probably going to go, because Tammy's like, someone's going to give her a chance based on her name. And especially if she keeps proving she's clean and not a problem.
Let him go out there every other week or whatever and have a showcase match against some rando, and then because we know you're on your way out the fucking door. So I mean, it's fine for what it is, but it's nothing like all that spectacular. So I mean, I went 1.5 on it.
All right, back to Jack on the subway. Then we go backstage where the Impact players and Dawn talk shit about Francine and Tommy's fat ass. Back to the subway, we get an RVD music video. Then we get Jack getting attacked by the Baldies. Then we go to the ring, as Rotten Balls are here to take on the Baldies. So we got Dick and Balls on this episode with us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Angel and DeVito get in the ring. They're fresh off assaulting New Jack. And, of course, you know, made the 9:15 flight, which New Jack did not make. He missed. Rotten Balls come to the ring. But Joey does tell us, even though he missed that flight, Method Man caught wind of what happened and flew him out.
Wow.
Here. Because Method Man's getting ready to tour Limp Bizkit. But he's not here to the arena just yet. A lot going on. A lot of 1999 here. Rotten Balls come in hot. They clear out the Baldies with punches. Balls and Axel fall outside. They brawl into the crowd with Rotten Balls controlling. Back in the ring, Axel pummels DeVito's balls, bounces a cup off Angel on the floor. DeVito shoves Axel outside, works him over as Angel shoves Balls into the steel. Joey says Balls ran Vito out of ECW the last time we saw him. He was breaking thumbs for some wannabe Italian named Poli Pesto or something. Of course, that's a shot at WCW where Vito went and became one of the Mamalukes.
Mm-hmm.
Balls tries to suplex Angel in the ring, but DeVito and News trip him up. Angel falls on top for the win. The Baldies beat down Rotten Balls. Now Bone Killers fires up. Out comes Jack with some weapons. The brawl is on. Jack has a staple gun. He fires one into Angel's head and smashes him with a hammer. Our boy Rugged Rod Price comes down. Still here. I just imagine those motherfuckers in the arena even though they don't use them or play him, probably uses there just in case. So, all right, get out there. Go ahead. So out comes Rod Price. He gets wiped out. Rod Balls and New Jack strut around. They wreck DeVito with a chair, carry him to the back of the building. New Jack scales up to a super high balcony as Rotten Balls and Spike, who's there now, put DeVito on a table. New Jack dances and makes a huge dive off of him to a huge pop. It's huge. A complete madman. New Jack and Rotten Balls stand tall and celebrate for a while. Joey says they revealed earlier that Anarchy Rules. I'm sorry. Did they say Anarchy Rules or Guilty as Charged would be here?
Anarchy Rules, I think.
So that's a year out. They really said that? I thought I miswrote it for a minute.
Yeah,
right.
no, they said that, yeah.
I guess they have all the other pay-per-views lined up. So Anarchy Rules 2000 next September. We'll be in Chicago. He then hypes up shows in Philly and Atlanta, and we close out. So the match was nothing. I mean, just brawling, and then quick post-match. But the big piece here was the New Jack dive, which was crazy. And the street ortho Baldies rolls along. So I thought Rotten Balls actually looked pretty weak in this.
Yeah.
But Jack and the Baldies continue to fight. So Jenny went a half a star.
Come on, man. New Jack jumped off the balcony.
That was a part of the match.
The table.
After the match.
It's part of it. Okay. It's part of it.
After the match, and New Jack came and put him to the table off them.
You're gonna hate my rating then.
I know your rating.
A star for this match. Out comes New Jack.
I thought it was awesome. The crowd was all about some Balls Mahoney in this, which I enjoyed that a lot. And it was a fun brawl. It's what we do. Staples in a guy's head. Yes. Jumping off the balcony. Yes. I love this. This is good. And New Jack has like a story. He has like
it is good. Just a match.
Things to do, you know? And so I gave it 2 stars.
I do wish now I did the match recap in the Paulie singing voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real whiff on your part. I went dud solely for the match. The post match was great. Like the balcony dive was fantastic. It did take a while to set up the dive, but it was still great when it finally happened. But I mean, just the match itself was a whole lot of nothing. And man, I desperately hope the New Jack Method Man thing is true, because holy shit, to be a fly on a wall for that conversation.
I mean, he had to be high as fuck to do this dive. So
yeah, point. Yeah.
I can imagine New Jack being friends with Method Man.
Yeah, same. Totally. God, that would have been great.
New Jack scales the high balcony. Is Rob and Balls. It's like set. DeVito on a table. And then Jack dances. All right. Awards time. Best match. This tells you we're in the soup in this one. The best match I had was the Ducks versus Doring and Roadkill.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then with Rotten Balls, Baldies mess.
Yeah.
Best moment I went New Jack's dive.
Yep.
Yes.
Most 90s, I mean, Method Man and Limp Bizkit touring, and Dick Hurts is the joke.
Yeah,
That's classic. I don't know what you're talking about.
I had to go with Method Man and Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit performing and together now every fucking night.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be seeing some Limp Bizkit in the future.
We are.
Stock Rising. I went Conda and Roadkill, Candido, and New Jack.
Yeah. Well, technically, New Jack fell, but
falling on Dups, Rotten Balls, and the ECW theme with lyrics.
No, that's Rising as well.
Yeah. It's from the depths of hell, but it rises up.
I can't believe it's not on their CD they fucking did. They didn't put that version. They knew it sucked, so that's why. Final grade, I went 4.5 out of 10, which is honestly higher than this probably deserved, but
yeah.
But it's still like an enjoyable, like I feel like we're low on, but it's still like a quick 40 minutes. Like the Candido Diamond was fine. Dick was funny. I like Doring and Roadkill, and that was fine. And that, even though we joked about the song, that opening animation video was pretty good. It was long, but it was entertaining.
I don't understand the conflict. Why?
Well, I mean, it's a
should go more. You should go higher.
2.
5
I
out
went
of 10.
4.5.
I went 4. This boy, RVD CW Anderson would have been a welcome addition to this episode at a 2.5-star match.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, that does it for us here tonight. It was a fun trip with those 3. We'll be back in a couple weeks. We'll cover 3 more weeks of television. We'll have a couple TNNs as we are nearing the end of 1999. Crazy enough, we're almost through our final calendar year of ECW wrestling, which is nuts. So stay with us. Subscribe to everything we have to offer North South Connection. We appreciate you. I want you to stay extreme here
Music.
in 2025. 2025, a lot to cover. WrestleMania season is upon us. We'll have some cool content. So stick with us, share the word, and we appreciate you. Stay extreme. We're out. Subscribe now. I'll kill your family.
God damn, pal.
I won't pay your bills. Check World House.